Hey, welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. As my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today is the Crochet Make a Point shawl. So this is using Caron Latte Cakes, and when you look at these cakes here you can see that they're really quite soft. They have a bit of eyelash in it and exceptionally wonderful to work with. I really love working with this yarn. So we have a beautiful point shawl. So it works starting in the back of the neck and it goes as big as you want it to go. You only need 2 balls if you want to match the size here, and what you see for a size here is approximately 60 inches by wide by 30 inches deep. So what we have here is a repeat pattern that is pretty simple once you get it moving along. Now for tutorial reasons you can't see the stitch work in the eyelash yarn because there's too much light blasting here at the project. So I'm going to be using Caron 1-pound yarn in order to show you how to do the stitch work so you can physically see it in person. I can see the stitches in eyelash. It's not an issue to work with. So once we get ourselves established, it's a matter of doing a repeat pattern throughout the whole thing. So it's going to be rows number 5 through 8 in order to continue to go, and then when you finish that you are going to end on the 7th row, which I'll talk about once we get there. Then what we have is a quick row of fringe that you can have if you'd like to add that, and if you don't want to, it's up to you as well, and I'll show you how to do the fringe. So without further ado, let's get started. So here's what the shawl looks like here. Now technically it will be the other way when you're wearing it, but as crocheters we tend to start in the middle and then we go up and then back and then we keep growing out like this, so it makes sense here on camera. So if I put my hand behind it you will see that there is some spacing that's there, so when you're wearing something and it's draping you'll be able to see a little bit of that as you will see in the model as well. So you can see that there's a repeat, so you see that there's holes here and then there's holes here and etc., and you're letting the cake do the work itself. So as you can see the color is changing and that's as per the ball itself, so there's no special manipulation. So if you really follow it here you see how it changes here. So it actually looks really good when it comes to these kind of ideas, and also you can put your hook into the wind, throw on the television, and then just enjoy this particular project. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna get yourself started, and that's what our goal is today. So let's begin, and we're gonna start off. Now I'm going to use Caron 1-pound today. The only reason why I'm using it is that I started doing this and you realize you can't see the stitches if you're sitting at home. In person I can feel the stitches, I can literally pull it apart and see the stitches, but on camera it's not so friendly with that. So I'm going to use Caron 1-pound as, and this is my method to my madness. Let's start off with the slip knot. And we're going to put this onto the hook. Still use a 6.5 millimeter size cake crochet hook. We're going to chain 4, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to move on to row number 1 next. In row number 1 we're going to go across this, so this whole chain is going to count as a stitch, so don't forget that in the future. So when we go to start this we want to start in the beginning chain all the way back there, and we're going to apply 4 more double crochets there. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So once you have that done, the chaining that you skipped over is going to consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a total of 5. Turn your work and let's begin row number 2. So let's begin row number 2. So we have 5 stitches. The middle one here is going to be the point. If you want to use a stitch marker to indicate that point, it may be a good idea for the latte cakes. I can, as an experienced crocheter, I can honestly see it, but you may not if you're a beginner, so you might want to do that. So you're going to chain 2, and in this pattern the chain 2 at the beginning does not count as a stitch, so that's nothing. So you're gonna start off in the very first one and you're going to apply 2 half double crochets in that one. So that was the first of the grouping of 5. So the next one is just 1 half double crochet by itself, and then the next one is the third one, so this has to be the point. So you're gonna half double crochet, chain 2 and half double crochet. So in the latte cakes it's saying to place the stitch marker right here. So if you want to use some spare yarn, or if you have stitch markers, you can just indicate that and just throw it through, and so you'll always see that point whenever you're going through, so you can just let it rest. So let's go down the other side of this shawl, and so you're gonna half double crochet the next one, and the turning chain there's going to be 2 half double crochets in order to maintain this pattern. So 1 and 2, and that was the end of row number 2. Let's turn our work and begin row number 3. So row number 3, we're just going to continue with that same stitch work, but we're going to be bigger. So we're going to chain 2, remember counts as nothing, and in the very first stitch where that's coming out of, you're going to apply 2 half double crochets. So we have to keep building it out like that so it'll stay flat along the top surface. Now you're going to apply then the half double crochets into the next ones here. So we have to watch our stitch work when we're going to do this in order to make it work. So let's begin, and so it says 1 half double crochet in each of the next 3. So just kind of watch how you're going to do that. So you're going to say 1, 2 and 3 like that. So there's your 3. So look where I put that last one in so you can have a good reference of it. And then in the point you're going to put in 1 half double crochet, chain 2 and 1 half double crochet, and if you're following up that stitch marker, just grab a piece of it and just pull it through that hole so you can now see it. So let's go down the other side. So starting right here, so that's where we're going to begin our story, and we're going to half double crochet the next 3, and then in the very final here you are going to apply 2 half double crochet, and that was row number 3. So you're noticing it's not so flat. Caron 1 pound here is not as flexible as that as the latte cakes, so just be aware of that. So if you're seeing out like this, that's fine. So let's turn our work and begin row number 4. Let's begin row number 4. We're gonna create that space that I showed you on the sample. So you're gonna chain 2, doesn't count as anything, and you're going to put in 2 half double crochets in the beginning. So we're now going to start creating the space. So chain 1, skip 1 and half double crochet in the next, and you're going to do that all the way to the point. So then chain 1, skip 1, go all the way to the point like that. Okay, and then chain 1, skip 1, which is that one, and then you'll end up in the point. So the point again is a half double crochet, chain 2 and half double crochet, and you can move up that stitch marker if you feel like it. Coming down the other side, chain 1 immediately, and you're going to skip the first one and go to the second, and then chain 1, skip the next one, go to the second, and then chain 1 and skip 1, and you're on the last one, and there will be 2 half double crochets there. So 1 and 2, and then you can turn your work, and then you can kind of see this coming together. Let's begin row number 5. So as we begin row number 5, 6, 7 and 8, that's the repeat pattern. So right here is when you're going to start your repeat. So 5, 6 and 7 is actually the same information that we already know. So we're going to begin and we're going to chain 2. So we're going to put in another two half double crochets in the very first one so we can maintain the balance, and we're going to put in 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches going all the way across. So we're starting with the next stitch. Remember that there's 2 there, so you're starting with the next stitch and then go into the space for the next one and the next stitch and then the space and then the next stitch and space and then the next stitch like that, and then you're into the corner. So the corner then is half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. So then you start going down the other side. So starting in the very first one, that's a stitch and then a space. Just fill those in. So stitch and space, stitch and space, and then here you have 2 stitches in a row. So you have the stitch is the first one, and then the very final one is 2 half double crochets. So that was row number 5. Let's turn your work and begin row number 6. So in row number 6 you don't need to worry about filling in any of these spaces. You can move up the stitch marker if you wanted to, it's up to you. And so you're just gonna chain 2 and half double crochet twice in the first one. And then just simply just follow the stitch work up. So just one half double crochet in each stitch, so you don't need to worry about the spacing. Okay, and then when you're ready for the corner, it's half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. You can move up the stitch marker if you wish, and then coming down the other side. In the very final stitch there's 2 half double crochets. Turn your work. Let's begin row number 7, which is what we already know. So we're just gonna chain 2 and it's put 2 into the first one and just follow it up with the half double crochet to the point. And the point you already know, it's a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, and then coming down the other side of it, starting in the first one and go all the way to the end. So in the very last one you're going to apply 2 half double crochets there, and then we're going to turn our work and begin row number 8. Row number 8, we already knew what we're doing. We're going to create these spaces again, so this will be the end of the repeat on the end of row number 8. So chain 2, that's right, it doesn't count as anything, and then half double crochet twice into the first one and then begin your spacing. So chain 1, skip the next one, half into the next, chain 1, skip 1, so you keep doing that all the way to the point. Finally we're chaining 1, we're skipping over the very last one and then going right into the point, so it's a half double crochet, chain 2, and then coming down the other side. So put the half double crochet in the final point, chain 1, skip the first one out, go to the second, and do that all the way to the end. And finally I'm close to the end, skip 1, skip the second last one and go to the end, and you'll put 2 half double crochet in there. And that was the end of row number 8. So let's turn our work and set it down and let's talk. So we're going to begin and we're gonna talk about the repeat pattern of this. So you're gonna continue to repeat this pattern now, rows number 5 through 8, until the shawl measures 30 inches. So the 30 inches is just what it is, and you can keep trying this on if you want to, if you want to get a size. If you want to change it, even make for a child size, you may not want it that big. So what you're going to do is then start again on rows number 5, 6, 7 and 8 until you get to the size that you would like to go. The very final row of this though is row number 7. So you'll do 5 through 8, 5 through 8, and when you're really happy with it, just make sure that you finish off on the 7th row, and that's where you're going to end your story. So as you're following the pattern, you had to repeat rows number 5 through 8, 5 through 8, 5 through 8, and then you have to do the final as 5 through 7 so that you end up with a solid here, so that you're skipping the 8th one, which creates these spaces. Let's begin to do the fringe row next. So to begin, we're going to chain up 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So now we have to slip stitch starting in the second chain from the hook and go all the way back to the beginning. So you can either count it, but I wouldn't waste your time. Just throw in the television and just put your hook into the wind and just get them all coming back. If you go in the back hump, it's just easier to see, and once you do the first one, it's awesome. Even with the eyelash yarn, that's possible to do that as well. Okay, you're coming all the way back down. Okay, so what you're going to do is move to the next one here and slip stitch, and then move to the next one and slip stitch, and then begin all over again. So every other stitch here is going to get a fringe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So because this is Caron 1 pound, and you're gonna slip stitch all the way back as well. So because this is Caron 1 pound, it's a little bit stiff. It's a lot more stiffer than Caron Latte Cakes. So just so you know, the fringe is not being very flexible right now. You'll notice that is more flexible on the latte cakes as well. And if you do like Caron 1 pound like so, you can just block this, so damp it up, and then just shape those, and it should be good to go. Just apply some steam, and you're coming all the way back. And once you get all the way back, slip stitch to the next one and slip to the next one and begin all over again. So you're gonna have these fringing coming out to the edge. So you're just gonna go all the way, just go deal with the point, and then come all the way down, and then you're done at the very end. Then to secure this off, so once you have that done, let me just quickly demonstrate on how to secure this off. So once you get to the other side and you finish, just pull that through and put it through a tapestry needle and just weave it in and out a total of 3 times. So just going into the stitch work, so just once, and then back, and 3 times. So going back and forth 3 times allows it to really hide, and it also makes it almost impossible to pop out as well. So then you can cut that right down to the project. So that would be how you would do that, and this is the Make a Point crochet shawl. Have a good one, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.